We have new M1X leaks and updates, so do you guys want the good news or the bad news first? Because fortunately or unfortunately, we have both. So today we're gonna catch you guys up, give you guys some updates, and talk about not only M1X MacBooks, but also iMacs, Mac Minis, a MacBook Air, and a new display as well. Let's start out with something that at this point is basically confirming what we kind of know, and that is the new M1X MacBook Pros that we're all waiting for, the new 14-inch models being out this fall. As you guys know, a lot of us were expecting them at WWDC. In fact, the chips that are going in there for the M1X, that was actually leaked before the M1 chips with the higher core counts in the M1X. So everybody was expecting that, but unfortunately we had delays. And then the next logical step was in the summertime, where we often had MacBooks being released before students hit college. But unfortunately, because of the situation and supply shortages, this is getting pushed back to the fall. And Mark Gurman, who has the best track record, has now confirmed previous leaks within the last few weeks that the new MacBook Pros are launching in November at the latest. So that is great. We know we will not have to wait into 2022. And his specific headline was that they're coming sometime between September to November. Obviously, we know that September is iPhone season. November is when Apple added a new event last year for Apple Silicon, so that makes logical sense. Of course, it could come earlier with the iPad kind of press releases, usually coming in October, but I think November makes a whole lot of sense. So finally, after months and months of waiting and some potential delays, this machine will come out. Now, at that same event, we are expecting another M1X Mac, and that is the new redesigned Mac Mini. Jon Prosser has seen it from multiple sources, and he had a 3D render created showing off this new, slim, more updated futuristic design that kind of matches up with the M1 iMacs, where you have that top that looks really clean, possibly multiple colors, and of course, with the M1X, it's gonna fix multiple issues, such as only having 2 Thunderbolt ports on the current M1 Mac Mini, and having more display outputs as well. With that, it is using that new MagSafe connector, which is really cool, kind of unnecessary for this, but it's cool to see Apple putting that into their machines after having it be gone for so long. So that is another M1X Mac that will be coming out this fall. And with that, we have another new leak, this time from 9to5Mac. It's an exclusive that Apple is testing a new external display with a dedicated A13 chip and a neural engine built into it. Now, this is looking like it could be an update to the Pro Display XDR that came out just a couple years ago, but there is also the potential that it could be a new lower end display that we have also had leaks and rumors about for a while now, because let's face it, a $5,000 display plus a stand that's $1,000 is not accessible to most people, and the display is very high end, and Apple usually doesn't have display updates that often. Typically they stick around for 5, 6, 7, or even 8 years. So this actually makes a whole ton of sense, because if you guys remember, a while back we had rumors that Apple's making a display with a built-in GPU. So it's almost like an external GPU unit, but built-in display. So you walk in, you plug in your MacBook Pro or maybe a Mac Mini, and you get extra performance. Now, with these new Apple Silicon Macs, it doesn't make sense that that would happen because they don't support external GPUs. But if it is an Apple dedicated chip that's built in, that will give us numerous benefits. With the latest M1 Max and macOS, we have new exclusive features that are not supported for Intel Macs. You do need that Apple Silicon built in. So if we have that chipset here, that could allow some of these new features to be used even with older MacBooks, and it'll be a selling point to buy Apple's new display. Now, along with that, what people have done for a while with their MacBooks is use an eGPU, not necessarily for the extra graphics power, but to take the load off of their internal graphics card to keep the temperatures down and to give great performance with different monitors that are external. So this would also be a benefit, taking the load off of your MacBook or anything else, and give you more performance for the tasks that you're actually doing. There's also a chance that this can help M1 Macs that only support one external display be able to add on multiples or even daisy chain them, because you'll have that extra built-in GPU to do that processing. just like some people are doing with external display adapters for their current M1 Max and getting, I think, up to 6 displays to run. With that, there's also the potential that Apple could put Face ID into this display. Now, of course, that is extra cost, but if they're already gonna have a webcam built into it and they're gonna have speakers built into it, why not add a few extra sensors to allow Face ID to work? And as we've seen, there are leaks that Apple is working on this in code that was in macOS Big Sur. So it is coming at least to some Macs. And if they do that, they would need a processor to be built in to have that running properly and work regardless of which system that you connect it to. But if they put this together and add this feature, it would be absolutely amazing. And now, before we get into the new MacBook Air redesign, let's go ahead and touch on the last M1X Mac, and that is the 30-inch iMac. Unfortunately, we have a new leak from Dylan DTK that says the high-end iMac will be released in 2022. He also has a little bit more info, but first, if you guys don't know about Dylan DKT, he has a good overall accuracy. AppleTrack basically says that he's a mysterious Twitter account with a remarkably accurate track record for Mac and Apple Silicon details. So basically what he's saying with these new 30-inch iMacs, which we personally are really waiting for to replace our other machines, is the fact that Apple just has too much products coming out. Obviously, we've had supply chain issues. Because of this, multiple things have had to get pushed back, and Apple doesn't want these machines all releasing at the same time and competing with one another. So unfortunately, even though that sucks for us, and I know a lot of you guys are waiting for those machines, it makes a lot of sense for Apple. And with that, that also means that there's a really good chance that they could include Face ID into these more expensive, larger iMacs, because that was rumored for 2022. So if that means that we had to wait longer but get that awesome feature and some other updates, I guess we will just have to wait for that, and it might be a benefit overall. And we expect it to have better ports, an SD card reader, faster 10 gigabit Ethernet, and a lot more performance. So it's going to be an awesome system. So we have to wait, but I think it will be worth it. Now, the last thing that I want to cover are updates to the MacBook Air, the new redesigned version. And we have actually more info now when it's going to come out. It's exactly like we told you guys a while back what we expect based on Apple's timeline. This one should include the new updated M2 chip with extra performance, less limitations, and we have info about the mini LED display being included in there, which is crazy because the MacBook Air is a lower end, lower price point product. But what this is telling us, pretty much exactly like we told you guys and we were expecting, is that this will not just replace the base model that comes in at $999 right now that we recommend to everybody. If Apple is redesigning it, they're making changes, they are adding in this new display, we expect it to stay at the more expensive price, possibly $1,200, maybe $1,300. It might even replace the base 13-inch MacBook Pro, and then the redesigned 14-inch will be at the higher price point. So this will be a nice model, thinner, smaller. We have renders of it, and then Apple will keep the current M1 at the base level, which is great for so many people. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for these new machines that are pretty much confirmed now with Mark Gurman for this fall in just a few months? And what are your thoughts on the M1X 30-inch iMacs no longer coming out in the fall, but having to wait till most likely springtime in 2022 to be able to buy that? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching this update. Click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those great videos right over there. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next video.